Do you ever get lost soloing when suddenly a song jumps into a new key? That was me. I would totally freeze up. That is, I did until a certain trick that Jimi Hendrix used opened up my eyes. So in this video, I'm going to show you the second best trick I ever learned from Jimi Hendrix. It's simple, so you'll be able to add it into your solos right away and never fear those odd chord shifts again. When I first started soloing, I had no idea how solos are made, let alone improvised. I had to learn them note for note. Then a friend taught me what I thought must be the Holy Grail, the old minor pentatonic box. It was and is great. You can play and improvise all sorts of classic rock, Page, Clapton, but it's not the Holy Grail. So I learned the major scale and all of its modes. Now I could play Yes, Rush, Peter Frampton. It definitely helped. But there was still something that tripped me up, especially when improvising. What to do when there's a key change or an oddball chord. That change actually happens quite often, like here. This is the solo progression to Peter Frampton's Do You Feel Like We Do? Here the D major and the F major are a bit in conflict and they suggest different keys. The D suggesting D major and then the F and the C suggesting D minor. Now, like many players, I used to just ignore that and I'd use the D minor pentatonic. It's limiting, but it's not a total train wreck. But then there was this. These are the changes to the solo section of The Wind Cries Mary by Jimi Hendrix. We'll get back to the changes in just a minute, but here's where Jimi really showed me the way. I remember trying to improvise over that song and thinking it's got to be pretty simple, and then what? It just sounded terrible in that last section. So first, let's have a look at the structure, and then we'll appreciate how Jimi's trick really makes it all so simple. Okay, here are the chord changes to the solo section of The Wind Cries Mary. Let's look at them in some detail. First, we've got this figure right here, F, E flat, B flat. And that's repeated 3 times. That's actually pretty easy and straightforward to improvise over. You can use the F major pentatonic scale, or you could use the F mixolydian because all of these chords are in the key of B flat and with an F tonal center. So F major, F mixolydian work great. But then we get to this section right here. First, G. Chord does not fit into the key of B flat. So what do? Do we change scales? Maybe we use G major there. Then we're back to B flat. Do we switch back again? And then we're on D flat. So do we go to D flat major? It's all very confusing and difficult too. Can you imagine switching scales every measure? So I did something I tried really hard not to do at that time. I learned the actual solo Hendrix played instead of improvising. To my amazement, it was simplicity itself. Let's look at that and his trick next. Yes, you can use the F major pentatonic over the beginning part, and that's sort of what Jimi did. Here's what he played. So far, so normal, easy even. But here's where the genius part really comes in. By the way, if you want the free tab for this lesson, you can get it from the link in the description below. Okay, first, let's look at this lick. It's really just based on this shape of an F chord, the E shape. Now, let's expand the F major pentatonic around that chord. All those notes are fair game to create a chord lick. So here's the key point. Don't think scale, think chord. If you think that lick or move comes from a chord rather than a scale, your thoughts become quicker and you'll be able to handle those fast key changes without having to switch scales in your head. Let me show you how Hendrix handled the rest of it. So here's what Jimi did over the G, the first key change. It's the same idea that he used over the F before. It's the same shaped chord, the E-shaped G right up here, and it's the same sort of chord move. Simple. Over the B flat, the second key change, he plays similarly. Same E-shaped B-flat chord, just moves it down to here, plays the same sort of idea. Now over the D-flat, he plays a minor pentatonic idea, which just gives it an edgy sound. He could have used the same sort of chord move, he just didn't. And then we're back to F for the ending. So you see, you don't have to think in terms of scale positions when those quick changes happen. You can think of chords. And this is especially great for improvising. Let me show you. But what about the number one thing that I learned from Jimi? Well, it just may be what I cover in this video. That's the chord style that so many players from Stevie Ray Vaughan to John Mayer adopted. And you don't need giant hands to do it either. So click here. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you on down the road.